So we're back again. I haven't done an interview in a while, but with this one, you know, you hear people talk about day ones and people you've known your whole life. This is a brother I've known probably since we was like 12 years old. Yeah. So long time, you know, let's not get into how old we are now, but that's a long time. But, you know, we just want to really talk about some of the things that we always have conversations about, you know, obviously outside of being on camera, but just really wanted to share it. In times past, I've been talking to people about personal development, what it's like for us to personally develop as men, because I think as men, we don't talk about stuff like that for the most part. You know, as a man, it's about keeping it moving, staying strong, staying focused. And, you know, I think we're evolving to the point that we're recognizing, hey, as men, there's more than just this, you know what I'm saying? There's more than just this outward toughness and strength and all of that, man. But I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man. Just tell people who you are and what you do, man.
Well, hello, you guys. You know, my name is Napoleon Sledge. I am a certified life coach. I'm also an author. I've written 6 books. I also have my own cigar business and clothing business as well.
He said 6 books. Like, I gotta catch up. I'm on it. That's dope, man. Congratulations on that, bro. I never said it though, man.
Thank you. And let me say this, you guys. If it wasn't for him, you know, I do give him credit. I wouldn't be in the business I am now as far as life coaching. So I owe all the credit to this guy right here, because he the one told me about it. And, you know, I just took it from there, you know, and you don't have too many great people around you, as well as Rashad. So if it wasn't for him, like I said, you guys, I wouldn't be as far as I am now today.
Man, 6 books later, that's dope, man. I gotta get on it, man. I don't turn them out that quick. I gotta figure that out. But man, just in your journey and personally developing, going through all of the stuff that we go through in life, what's been your saving grace? Like, what's the thing that you feel like that keeps Napoleon keep you going? You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever's going on in your life.
Well, Rashad, I let my pain be my motivation, man. Okay. And I let my struggle be my success. It's been that and my kids. Okay. Too. I have a beautiful daughter. She's 3 years old, soon to be 3, and I have a son that's he's 10. Okay. So you know, them two is my everything, and so what I'm trying to do is in my life right now is life is not about me no more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's about my kids. So I'm trying to kind of break the generational curses in my family right now. So because like my body's different, my mind's different. As you grow older, you grow up. So you have to focus now on the kids. So that's just my bad.
That's a cold line. You said as you grow older, you grow up.
Yes.
That's deep.
Yes. It's all about my kids now, man. So that's what been driving me.
If you had to look at the Napoleon from, let's say, 10 to 15 years ago versus the Napoleon today,
correct,
what's the most drastic change that you think you've made in that time frame?
Whew. Wow. My attitude.
Okay.
My attitude was very, it was all about me. Okay. And now it was all about God. Okay. You know, I mean, just, you know, I believed in God back then. Mm-hmm. And you know, I grew up in the church, but it was all about me. It was all about me. I got to get this. And now it's about God now.
Okay.
You know, God. Yeah.
You think that just comes with age, or does it come with like, and I'm asking because I remember we both remember being younger, and we remember our parents talking about God. And I know we understood it. Right. But you don't understand God until you kind of grow up and you go through some stuff and you see life in a different way and you come out of some stuff. Right. Like, I get it now. Like, I feel like I know God the way that the older people knew God when I was younger. Like I testify, you know, like that kind of knowing God, because, you know, you've been through something. So
yeah, I think it comes with maturity and the things that you've been through. You know, it took for me, well, I'm gonna just use the prime examples, going through a lot of relationships, different relationships, even being, having family issues. It took me to know who my best friend was, as far as, you know, sometimes you can't depend on man, you have to depend on God. And it took me to know that that he was the only person that I could depend on.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
yeah, for sure.
You know, you can't depend on them. You depend on me because I supply them.
Yeah.
So why do you want to depend on them when I supply them? Depend on me.
True.
And so
man will fail you.
Yeah. All
over and over again.
All
yeah.
the time.
You know, and you know, for the people that might see this, and I always say, you know, how I believe spiritual. I know everybody doesn't believe the same way or at all.
Right.
And I'm open to whatever. You know, I'm open to whatever anybody else believes. But you know, for me, I know over time it has become more and more important to delve deeper into there's something bigger than me, there's something beyond me, there's something going on that I don't understand.
Right.
Whether you want to call it God, you know, whatever you want to label that as, I'll let you do it. But I think that becomes really important in your life at some point.
Yes, it does. And then too, let me add on to something. It's like I had to know that we all have a journey, and the purpose of here, God made us for a reason on this earth. He didn't just make us just to be working. We all got a purpose in life. Yeah. And once I think I found my purpose, that's when life became more clearer. Okay. Because you know, God made you for a reason. And you know, we all have an individual purpose in life. And you know, I think a lot of people don't know that they was on here for an assignment to do, on earth for an assignment to do. And then that's when I think when I found my purpose, that's when it became more clear to me. Okay,
that makes sense. Yeah. Now, I was gonna say this, but let's jump into that because I know the purpose. You know what I mean, or part of it anyway. And I know from the coaching aspect, because you mentioned that you're a coach, right? But you're a specific type of coach, right? You know, and the specific type of coach that you are deals with relationships. Yes. That's a deep subject. I am definitely not the expert on that in no shape or form. So I'm gonna take a back seat to this one. But just tell me what made you, you know, first and foremost, I think want to be a coach and want to help people from that standpoint. And a lot of times, let me put this in. When people hear coach, I think sometimes they just think that a person woke up and said, I just want to talk to people. Right. And for some people, that's the case. You know what I mean? Good or bad. But for this brother, this is not, I want to talk to people. This is certifications, diligence, hours put in with working with clients, right? Like, as he said, writing 6 books. So this is not just fly by night. I don't have nothing else to do. This is my thing. This is really a solidified profession. But in doing that, what made you say relationships?
Because I wanted to be a relationship coach, but because of the simple fact, I was raised with my grandparents, and 2 as well as my mom too as well. I've been through it, so in order to teach somebody, you have to go through it as well. And I knew how to love, and it was just the people that I was loving was different from I know how to love, and then I knew a lot of people was lost. They don't know. A lot of people don't know that love had 3 different meanings. Okay, break that down. Okay, the first love is agape love. Okay, that's in the Bible. Agape love means, you know, you love how God loves you, for better, for worse. Like you know, when you get married, you vow. Okay, for better, for worse, for sickness and poor. You know, somebody gonna accept you who you are. No matter if you lose everything in life, all the materialistic things. I mean, if your leg get cut off, they're gonna still love you for who you are. Right. The second love is follow love. Follow love is a materialistic love. Somebody loving you for the things you have. You know, he or she is established. He or she has this. He or she has that. They love you for what you have. The next one is pure love. They love you for sexual love, desire. You know, and that love, like he, you know, he's good in bed, or I love the way he's masculine. You know, they love you for those reasons. So if you take the follow love and the hero love away in these days and time, do a person really love you for who you are?
That's true. And that's something that, you know, I always have conversations about, or that I've had conversations about, because, you know, I'm always interested of why a person wants to marry somebody. Because for me, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, you know, hanging out, dating somebody, all of that, that's good. But to say, like, I want to take these vows, you know what I mean? Like, I really want to be here through, because I think how I see a relationship is like, everybody, I think you have to be single to see a relationship in this blissful way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that relationships can't be blissful, but when you're in it, it's different. It's totally different than the way you see it in wanting to be in it when you're single. Because when you're in it, it's not every day of, oh, she's so beautiful. It's them your eyelashes on the nightstand crushed up. What is, it's everything that you have to kind of deal with. So my thought process has always been like, you really gotta really love somebody to take that step. And I think a lot of people, and I don't have any proof of this other than the people that I've been around, I think a lot of people get into relationships and marriage because it's what we're supposed to do. And they don't love in the way you just said.
People, these days in time, a lot of people love, they go by what they see for now. Mm-hmm. They go by what they hold on, let me get straight. They go by what they see as far as materialistic things. They look at, okay, this person established. But they're not realizing that these things could be taken away. They could be gone. God could just like that. Then what you gonna do? So so the question is, are you going to pick up the slack if these things are taken away, because they can be taken away from either one of you guys?
True.
So 10-2, I see a lot of people going by these reality shows. They have a big impact. I think social media has really taken relationships to a bad point. Listening to other people and watching other people has been a negative thing. And just a lot of people don't know how to love. They assume they do, but they don't.
Yeah, because it's all, when you see it from reality shows, or you see it from social media, or even what we've been told through how we were raised about it, it's all this myth of a fantasy of what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Because I know from what I thought a relationship was versus the time I was in a long relationship, I'm like, it ain't nothing like they said. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not to say that it was bad, but the image of what I had in my mind from listening to those things, this reality that I was living, that's not exactly what it is. And I think that's the reason a lot of people don't make it, is because you got this fantasy thing in your mind, and then you end up in something to where you're really with somebody every single day, day in and day out. And the only way that I know to do that is, there's got to be a lot of changing on both of y'all parts. There's a lot of give and a take, a lot of finding out why you're annoyed by this. It's a lot of personal growth in that. And I think that's the part that TV doesn't talk about.
It's a lot of temporary love, like I said. People just going with people just because they just got out of one relationship. They didn't give themselves time to heal. And that's the main thing that I deal with. A lot of people that come to me, they have not healed themselves. Like, just for example, somebody got married. They've been married for 10, 15 years. A lot of people are afraid to be alone.
I believe that.
Alone. So they will go get somebody, and it be just somebody just to fill that void, and thinking being with them, that's going to make them comfort. But really, you bringing the baggage that you didn't heal from to this relationship. And now it's like you got two double standards together, and it's clash. It can clash, and it don't work. And you never heal from that past relationship. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't take time to heal within themselves.
And I'll ask you this from your expert opinion, because I know a lot of people have these time frames of, like, if I date somebody for X amount of time, we should be talking about getting married, or we should be doing this based upon whatever they've heard. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but do you think there's a time frame as far as, if you've dated somebody for 6 months, you should be talking about marrying this person. If you dated somebody for a year and a half, you should be talking about marrying this person. Or is it more so, if you don't feel it 100%, don't do it? I don't care how long it's been. Like, what's your take on that?
I say you should know within a year if you know you want to be with somebody. It don't take no 2, 3, 4, 5 years just to know somebody. I mean, a person can't have a Best Academy Award win a Best Academy Award, winning film for Best Actor or Actress within a year. The mask might come off sooner or later. True. So you can know if you know how to study somebody and just know they do's and don'ts. Now, I'm not saying that you have to live with that person to know, because sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. It depends on what you got to do. But I think like less than a year, you should know where you need to be with this person. Okay. 6 months, you should know at least, do you see, because time waits for nobody. Life's short. You don't have to just go rush into it, but you should know something.
But do you think that contributes to people doing it because of that statement? So my biggest pet peeve of life, not just on relationships, is the statements that we put out where we say that, like you said, you should know, or this should be this or that. I don't know if I believe that for everybody, only because I don't know everybody. Right. You see what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times when we say, well, in 6 months a person should know. No, maybe you should know. Right. But you don't know me, so how you know if I'm gonna know? You know what I mean? So that's something I've always struggled with, not just in relationships, but you know, people will say, oh well, a man should be this. Right. Based on who? Based on what? Right. Based on what somebody's told you. Right. Or you know, you'll hear experts say, well, if a man do this, then that mean that. Right. I can't get with that, because my thought process is, how do you know? Right. So, you know, no disrespect to I'm just thinking of him, Steve Harvey. Like Steve Harvey will say, ladies, if a man do this, that mean that man is doing this. Right. Or if a man do that, that means this. To me, excuse my expression, you are pulling something out of your ass. Right. The reason I say that is because you don't know every man. You can only base that upon you. Right. And the people you know. Right. You ain't never met me. Right. You don't know what I got going on. So that I always don't really know how to process that.
Well, see, for Steve Harvey, some people don't understand that he do things to cater to women because he know that
that's his target audience.
That's his target audience.
Good marketing.
And women spend more money than
absolutely.
Men. So
absolutely.
He's not going to actually tell you the truth, because that's why he's been through his marriages. And I think it's 3. Good point. Some people do stuff for money, but they're not going to tell the truth. Yeah. I said 6 months that you should know something, because a lot of people don't put God in it and ask him. That's why I said 6 months. True. Will tell you, but you got to ask him. You can't go by what you think. You got to ask God.
It can't just be the time frame alone. Yeah, because I know some people. I know some people like, okay, it's month 5.
No.
Month 6 hit, you need to be figuring this thing out. And again, I think that can work. I mean, I know people that have gotten married after 2 months. Right. Or 3 months. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But I think the reason that a lot of times we're in positions as people is because we try to do the one size fits all. Right. It's kind of like, as people, we want a formula for everything. Like, you're a relationship coach, so somebody wants you to tell them, do this, do this, do this, and it's going to equal that.
No, it ain't going to work.
And I don't think, I personally don't believe life works like that. Right. So.
And then too, I'm gonna tell you one thing about men that the ladies may not know. Mm-hmm. Women are one of the most powerful things on earth. And what you say to your man you can do 2 things to a man. You can either build him up or tear him down by what you say in his ear. You got to use an example, like when we was kids, when our mother came to us and told us, you did a great job in that game, I'm so proud of you, or you did so good, I'm proud of you. And what you heard, you was like, thank you, mama. You go outside, you feel like you were Superman. Yeah. So the next time you wanted to make her even prouder, you did something even better. You tried to go harder in the paint and do it again. It's just about anything. She was so happy you made the bucket. So then you started to watch more TV or to do more things to make her more happier. Right. It's the same way as when men get married, or they want the same thing from their woman, hearing positive stuff. And women do not know that word what you just told your man, something positive, you don't know how that made him feel, because men are so built up to this standard. You got to be a man. You got to do this. You got to do this. I mean, but you understand, we're more vulnerable than women. We just hide ours under that word, man.
That's true. Now, that's something that I've talked about in probably every guy and the women that I've sat down with and talked to is these standards that we have. And I realize for women, there's set standards as well. And again, like I said, my basic philosophy of life today is learn to think for yourself.
Right.
You can listen to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You can take it in, but don't take it in as in somebody has the accurate, concrete advice for you. Correct. Because I don't know if there's a human being that actually has that for you specifically. Right. They got guidelines. Right. They got roadmaps. They got things that you can follow. Right. But who's going to tell me specifically? Even when it comes to business, like I look at a lot of this stuff on on social media. Okay. You'll have somebody and they'll say, "Buy my program." Right. If you buy my program,
this is going to happen.
This is what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's great marketing. Right. It sounds beautiful. Right. And I might buy it. Right. But at the end of the day, let's be real. Nobody can guarantee you anything in life. No. Nobody can guarantee you that. No. I mean, and I'm a coach. I sell programs. But if you listen to me closely, I always say I got some strategies. Right. I got some guidelines. I got some stuff that I believe will really work if you practice it, because it's worked for me and I've seen it work for countless amounts of other people. But if you want me to 1,000% guarantee you it's going to change, I don't know that. Right. That's just being honest and real. So I think a big part of our lives is that we have to learn to think for ourselves. What works for you? Right. That doesn't work for somebody else. Right. And that ain't always easy, you know? Right.
That's and so you guys, that's why I said we all have our own journey or mountain to climb. Like, for example, Rashad is a business coach. I can't climb this mountain. I can't be no business coach. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely don't want to be no relationship coach. You know what I mean? Y'all never want to listen to my relationship advice. You ain't gonna make it.
You know, that's why a lot of people in life kind of like don't succeed, because they'll look at, just I'm gonna take for example Rashad. They say, if he making all this money and he got all this following, I'm gonna do exactly what he's doing right now. I'm gonna be a business coach. But that ain't what God designed for you to do. We all have our own individual mountain climb or either journey to walk on. I can't do, he can't be in my shoes. I can't be in his shoes. And, you got to just stay in your lane.
Even if you do the exact same thing as another person, your journey is not going to be the same. It's just not. You know what I mean? Like, I've talked to tons of personal development and business coaches and authors over the years, and everybody's story is not like mine. You know what I mean? Like, there are things that I can take from their story and go, okay, I got. But nobody's story is exactly the same, because we all come from different places, different backgrounds, different journeys, different hiccups, all of that stuff. And I think that is what makes you you. Right. You know what I mean? But we've been told in order to be successful, just model somebody else. Yeah. And that has its points, and I get what people have been saying over the years, because I used to follow that philosophy as well. And I still believe if you want to gain information about a certain thing, surround yourself with people that have that information. But you may not be able to model it to the letter. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, because their journey might not work for you verbatim.
Right. So, because I've read different books about, how to become a better relationship coach or doing different cigars, but I can't do the exact thing they do. I just take my formula and just use little by little, and just take my time. It's all about becoming by patience. Yeah, you got to go through your own level of trial and error and all of that type of stuff. It's a big question, and like I said, I hate asking general questions, but for you and for most men that you have talked to, where do we fail in relationships? Like, what is it that we don't get from what you've seen? What I've seen the most is us men, we don't take our time in studying a woman enough. I think we the majority of us rush and believe the first thing they say. I'm never gonna hurt you. I'm never gonna do you like the last one did. So when we vent to them, as soon as we vent, and they show us that at the first that they trustworthy, whatever. The more we tell, the more we dig ourselves in the hole.
But how do you take your time? Because we live in a world where there's that thing out there that in X amount of time, you're supposed to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So that's always a dilemma. Like people will say, like again, that goes back to thinking for yourself. Because I would hear people say, you know, as a man or as a woman, don't rush into a relationship. Like take your time, get to know this person. But that might work when you're 25. Right. When you're mid 30s, early 40s, most of the people that you meet, it sound good, but they ain't gonna let you take your time, but for so long. Because it goes back to it's been 5.5 months. You should know what you want to do, or you should know that we need to take this to the next level. But what if you don't? Well,
I put it like this now. From what I tell my people that I coach, if they can't understand where you at right now, it wasn't meant.
It wasn't meant. I agree.
It wasn't meant because
I agree.
You know, if they can't accept the truth and you telling them the truth flat out with no strings attached, hey, you know, I think we should take our time and just go slowly, patiently, and respect what you're saying. That's another thing, respect. Okay. If they can't respect what you're saying, you have to move on forward. And it wasn't meant because
I don't think you should be forcing
nothing at all. You know, you shouldn't be forcing nothing.
And I've always said that, like, if I'm here and you're here and we can't figure out how to get here, and like you said, I'm not gonna change me and do something that I'm not feeling, right? Because I want to please you, right? You know, and I think a lot of people do that, both men and women. Some people rush into a relationship because it's like, I don't know, or rush into marriage because it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm really ready to be with you like that, but I do like you and I don't want to lose you, so let me just do it. And I'm not built like that for whatever reason.
You know, people don't love like our mothers and fathers did back in the day. They, like I said, they love for what they see and what they go by, and you know, this temporary fix, and they're easy to let go so fast and not just working it out, going to counsel, going to do this. It's like, if you don't do it, we gone. Okay, you just got that off your job, we gone. I'm done. They start going seeking outside help and started standing inside.
Let me ask you, that's a good question. What do you tell your clients that are going through relationship stuff and they've been working? Like they've been coming to see you, maybe they've been going to therapy, and it's not working. Do they supposed to keep fighting, or what is the point where you just say, it's been real, baby, I got to go, or vice versa?
Well, I don't give up on it. Most of the time, it's somebody that don't want to change in that particular relationship. Okay. Somebody either gonna be like, I, but you're not understanding. It ain't I.
Right. Okay.
When you married, it's us. Somebody gonna say, I've been doing this, but I've been doing this too. And I just tell them just like this, who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself? Right. Or are you doing it for him? Right. Because as long as he is in the middle, and one of you guys on the left, one on the right, how can y'all go wrong? True. So are you doing it? And then another thing, do you love yourself?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Because some people, they'll go out looking for love, but they're not loving themselves first. Right. And that's why I go back to say, it starts with loving yourself first. Once you can love yourself, you can love everybody else.
That's true.
Or did you come to a relationship not loving yourself and then was just looking for love for that temporary fix?
And that's a good point. I had a client, of course, not a relationship coach, but personal development, and she said something. This was some years ago, but I just thought of it. She said something really powerful. She said that she was at a point in her life where she wasn't willing to date anybody that haven't either seen a therapist before, hadn't seen a coach before, or hadn't really done the personal development work on themselves. Right. And at first in my mind, I was just like, ooh, that's you know, I didn't know if I agreed or disagreed, but the more I've thought about it, I'm like, that's pretty good. Because if you're over 30, let's just put that out there. Right. If you're over 30, you've been through some stuff in life.
Right, yeah, you have.
You probably been in some relationships. And if you over 30 and you're single, I mean, obviously them relationships didn't work out. Right. So I feel like there's a lot of past trauma there. There's a lot of things that you've gone through. And if you hadn't properly healed that, not just I prayed about it. Right. Pray about it for sure. don't mess that up. You know what I'm saying? Me and God, we pray about it for sure. But there's more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think there is some internal work that needs to be done. So what's your take on that a person needs to kind of be in a situation where they're healed and whole before they say, oh, I want to join my life with this other person?
I think that's great.
Okay. Because
you in order to give yourself wholeheartedly to somebody again, you're gonna have to be healed yourself first.
Okay.
Wholeheartedly. You can't give yourself to somebody when you are still wounded and damaged.
Right.
You can't. How?
That's true.
And it's not fair to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that really cares about you, that they're healed and they're 100%. You can't get you 100% to somebody. And just because somebody else messed it up, please don't blame it on the next person, because they didn't do it.
They didn't do it.
They didn't do it. Sorry what you went through. But it wasn't that person who's trying to love you. And that's another thing. A lot of people scare people away because they've been hurt by somebody else, and now they want to take all the blame when they're, oh, okay, well, then you're going to do the same thing they do.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You ain't been healed.
You ain't been healed. And the issue is a lot of people don't know that the trauma is there. They don't find that out until they get in that next relationship and they find out that, dang, I do have trust issues.
Some people keep going and
they keep going
because they don't want to learn. They don't want to learn.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to learn. They think it's not them. They don't think it's something wrong with them.
But we don't, I look at, we come from the same place.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
I look at the culture that we come from, especially as men. I don't necessarily know what women are told.
Right.
But as men, we're not taught to work on ourselves. We're not taught to, okay, go see somebody and talk about what you feel, or talk about this voice in your head that keep telling you this crazy stuff that nobody tells us to deal with that. And that's why I'm such an advocate of personal development. So nobody tells us to deal with that. So I feel like a lot of times people don't find out they got a problem with something until we in the middle of this relationship, and then they find out, like,
you know why?
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. We're not told because we're afraid to tell what's wrong, and because we think it's embarrassing. Like for an example, a woman is easily convincing anybody, and everybody come to the rescue. Oh my God, baby girl, what?
Right.
But if we go tell our boys and cry,
it ain't gonna work out. It's like, man, what the hell wrong with you?
Man, be like, hey, cuz it's gonna be all right.
Right.
And they come to call, man, guess who left him over here?
Right.
Man, bro, old boy was crying like a sucker.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely not taught that as a man. So that's the thing. I mean, I think we all have to take a moment and say, what's going on with me?
Right.
How do I feel about it? Even if you're at a point where you're not ready to talk to anybody else about that, you need to have a conversation with, what's going on with me?
Right.
Like, how do I, because I mean, I've talked to people, I've talked to friends and family members who I might just hit up and be like, man, what's up, bro? What's going on with you? I'm like, nah, man, I'm straight. Oh, what's up with you? I can hear something wrong. Yeah. Nah, man, bro, I'm good.
They scared.
Because it's like this thing of like, and I'm like, even if you don't want to tell me, which is perfectly fine, at least admit to yourself, I don't feel right about something, and I need to figure out how to deal with it. Because if not, to me, that's something as a man you're gonna drag into that relationship,
right? And
now that woman gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, a lot of men are very afraid to break because, like I said, we got this standard been over our heads that we're a man. We supposed to be Incredible Hulk the whole time, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And can't nothing be wrong with us. So the minute we break down, or if we break down, what I've seen, if we cry, a woman can tell us, "Oh, I'll be okay. I got your back," and then she get mad at us. Next week we arguing. Oh yeah, you see that when you was crying last week.
Right.
Boom.
Right. And that's gonna kill you. That's gonna put you back.
You're supposed to say.
Yeah.
Say, man. So it's a lot of men, we try to be muscular all day long, but really we're more sensitive than when we just hide out under that word, man, you guys. So I'm just telling you just the truth.
That's true. So here's a theory of mine. When I talked about the part about relationship to me is the word real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it get real. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, dating is fun. You know, we hang out, we go to nice places maybe, or we chill, and you go home. Or I go home, you know, either way. And then I see you in a few days or so. Relationship is, you still here? You know, it's like you don't go. Oh, go ahead. I'll tell you my theory, but
but you know, these days, the time what you just said, what a date is. Mm-hmm. That's not dating these days.
Maybe.
I'm talking about to when our generation. Okay. It was.
Yeah.
But now, that's not a date. That's like, what's this? Mm-hmm. You gotta go out.
Okay.
After that, go to the club.
Okay.
After that, we going out to eat again 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And maybe it depends that.
I'm too old for that. 3, 4 o'clock, I'm going to be asleep. Don't even worry about me. You're going to drop me off or let me drop you off because I'm going to be at the house. Yeah. But I mean, and everybody has a different definition. But But what I was saying about the realness of a relationship, going back to what you're saying, is that I think if we don't, as men and women, break those stereotypes of what a man is supposed to be or what a woman is supposed to be, I think that's where the disappointment comes in. Is because when you live with somebody, you see everything, right? Yeah. So let's paint this picture. If you're a woman and you've never lived with a man before, I mean, ever, I'm talking about day in, day out, day in, day out. You may have the mindset of a man is Man, he's a superhero. Live with him for 2 months and find out this dude, he ain't no stronger than you are. You know what I'm saying? He have bad days. He be sad some days. He can't fix the washing machine. He don't know what to do about this. And I think sometimes when a woman sees that, oh wow, he's not Wolverine. Don't no claws come out. He ain't a superhero. I think if you don't understand that becomes a disappointment. Yeah. You know, because this image of what you thought it was is not that. Same thing for a man. Right. If you never lived with a woman as a man, do it. It's gonna change your life. Because she don't look like how you seen her on the date all the time. Let me tell you. Because when the makeup come off and the bonnets go on, ladies, I love y'all, no disrespect. So when the bonnets come on and the makeup come off and the eyelashes get put on the thing on the table and the whatever else women do, it's a whole different thing. And you wake up and you like, okay, that's what's up. I've never seen you like this before. And that's why I'm a huge advocate. Yes, it could be interesting. But that's why I'm a huge advocate of, I want to see you in the real element. Right. I can only do the frou-frou stuff but for so long. Right. Because I know that ain't you. Right. And that ain't me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm always seeing you fully faced, makeup, hair bumped, you know what I'm saying? Right. I know that ain't how you wake up every day. Right. You did that for me because you knew I was on the way. Right. And that's cool. But I think if you don't get a reality of that's not real, when you get in this relationship, you're gonna be highly, I don't want to use the word disappointed because I don't like that word. But I think you're gonna be, I don't know, you're gonna be something. You know what I mean? You something's gonna change by that. So I guess the question becomes, how do you break that stereotype of a man is this or a woman is this before you embark upon a relationship?
Well, that comes in where you got to accept them for who they are in the beginning. Okay. That's what I
if they show you who they are in the beginning.
Well, you're gonna find out sooner or later.
Yeah. Sometimes later.
It's just like getting the car. Okay. It's just like testing the car. Mm-hmm. Okay. Before you drive up that lot, what's the thing? You ain't just not gonna sign no papers and then just believe what they're telling you. Sure. Like you're gonna have to have some sense of paperwork, because I'm not gonna drive no car. I'm gonna have to test it first before I drive it. Yeah. But before I drive flop and say it's mine.
Test now. I know people gonna take that in many different ways. How you testing, bro? What kind of give me the test? All tests? What kind of test? You just want to see all tests.
Every test.
Gotta see if everything working.
Yeah, you gotta see everything working. The engine, inside the motor. The interior.
Make sure this oil change.
Everything.
When last time you changed the oil? Because this oil ain't right. The oil black. mean, it all don't smell right. No,
make sure the windshield wipers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, make sure it works. Make the headlights come on.
Yeah,
nah,
seriously. Wet. Seriously.
Everything. And I know everybody doesn't believe in that. And I'm not saying that of course, that's something you gotta do, but it is an interesting thing to learn things later.
Right.
And granted, I know you can't learn everything, but I'm trying to get it all. I'm trying to learn everything I can so that I make the proper decision versus I don't like surprises in that regard.
Yeah, well, see, and see, that's what comes with studying somebody like you doing a test or like you going to school. Mm. You got to study them. And once again, I'm going to say this, every male or female is not perfect. Mm. So but you have to study them, see where their strong points and see their weakness that fits you. And if they don't fit you, you have to let it go. Like you know, some of the things that I study in a woman, if she had kids, is how she treat her kids. Mm. What's her relationship between her mom and dad? Sure. How she have her dad in her life? Because that reflects on me, of course. I study if she's a child of God. Does she have communication? Do she have communication? I mean, I look at different things in her life.
So how their family structure is important.
Everything.
Now, I had this conversation with a friend, and I've met somebody like this before. I met a woman where didn't say anything about her family, and when I asked, you got siblings, where it was like, yeah, I don't really deal with them like that. And I'm like, which I never got the story, so everybody could have a different story. Right. But for me, it was kind of like the more I talked to this person, and it was like, yo, you don't deal with nobody in your family, don't nobody in your family mess with you, or vice versa. Like not one person, because all of her family were just good friends of people she had built the tribe over the years, and that's perfectly fine too. Everybody doesn't have a great family, but at the same time, if nobody for me, it was kind of like, man, what's the real story? You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, is that a red flag if a woman doesn't have any kind of relationship with her family, or one size doesn't fit all? You need to really dig deep and find out what's the reason behind it.
I think you need to find out, because everybody may have different issues. Just because you cool with your family, that doesn't mean that it's right. And just because you're not cool with your family doesn't mean it's right either. Sure. You just need to find out the source of why, and if they don't want to tell you why, it's a problem. That's when it becomes a problem. If they validly tell you, well, I'm gonna just tell you this is why I don't deal, because it could be a valid reason. Something
it could be. I agree.
And you don't know. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't know.
That makes sense.
Because sometimes your family can be your worst enemies. True. And they can bring a relationship down. Many ways.
Right.
And yourself.
Okay. So now going back, we said you said that one of the things that you've seen as far as men is that sometimes men will rush into a relationship. We tend to rush more than women do. Really?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We do.
Why do I don't know if I've seen that, but why do you think that is?
Who don't want a beautiful woman, but besides them to say, yes. I mean, it's just reality. It's just we do. Okay. I know when we was younger, we did. I mean, I can speak for myself. Okay. Some men don't take time to get to know women for themselves and to study. Okay. That's one of the major things that I see. We tend to more trust women than they would trust us first.
Interesting. That could be a good point.
Yeah,
that could be a good point.
We tend to trust them.
Yeah.
We try to get the benefit of the doubt, but as far as women trusting men,
because I think the general idea, and then I'll just speak for me. I don't know how all men feel about this. I never look at a woman and say she might hurt me. That's never my thought process. I don't even think like that. But I have met women that say you might hurt me, so let me be cautious. But that might be a good, and maybe not all men, but
men don't come off like that.
I never looked at a woman and thought, I'm gonna be real cautious because you might hurt me. I've never thought of, and that's not to say I ain't never got hurt, but I didn't think about it in that way. Okay,
but but the majority, not all, but majority of women do think that every man gonna do the same, especially if a man look attracted to her. Oh, he got a lot of women. I knew. I just didn't say nothing, but I know. But I knew. You know, they do a little bit more investigation. Man, he just gonna go by. He just gonna see. And just sometimes
nice, she's sweet.
Yeah, she's nice. She's sweet. She's intelligent.
She brought me some food that day.
Yeah, she ain't sneaky.
Right.
I mean, I like her, man.
She ain't sneaky that you know about. That's
right at first.
Yeah, that you know about. At first. I got some sneaky stories out here.
Women want sneaky in a man. They just know how to cover it up real good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, not all. We only talking about the women we've met.
Every time I say you can rewind the video. It's some.
Some. Right. I've started saying the people I've encountered.
Right. Correct.
Or the people I've encountered through stories, through friends, or whomever I talk to, because I don't know every woman, I don't know every person, and I never will. So I try my best not to put those this is for everybody statements out there. But going back to, halfway, this is for everybody, but just based on what you've seen, what about the women? What's the biggest mistake that you've seen that women make when it comes to getting in a relationship?
You just said it. Always saying that this person gonna hurt me. And comparing their last to you.
Okay.
That's two things, and just going by what they see as far as what a person has. You got to get to know a person before you can do all that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Stop doing that because you don't know what this person did to get where they need to be, and it's not yours. Okay. It's theirs.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, I'll say, and this might be going a little bit more general, but what do you feel? Because like I said, I've talked about how men personally develop, the things we hold in, not wanting to be vulnerable. But what do you feel the biggest myth that women believe about men is just not true?
Men are cheap. And
they are what now?
Cheat.
Cheat or cheap?
Cheat.
They cheat. Okay,
they cheaters.
Infidelity, cheating. Okay, cool. I thought you said cheat.
No.
No. We might could talk about that too.
Yeah. All men gonna cheat.
All men gonna cheat. Okay.
And as far as all men are dogs, I'm gonna just say that.
Okay, cool.
And it's false. We have, it is some great men out here that's willing to accept a woman for who they are. That still got that old-fashioned love. It just sometimes you just gonna have to be very patient. I think. That comes again, I'm gonna say this again, looking at social media, looking at these celebrities, looking at these hip hop shows, some women go off by that. And you just got to be patient and just ask God for who he has for you, who he designed, who he wants you to have, not what you pick.
True.
Because when you pick, it's not gonna work. When God picks, it's always gonna work. But that's what I think.
Okay. That's good deal. And I've never understood, like, since we're talking about cheating, there's always this double standard of what I've heard. Like, so when a man cheats, it's always he's dirty, no good, and cheating is cheating. But when a woman cheats, what I've always heard is, what did he do to you?
Yeah,
because it's the idea is that a woman only cheats out of something that's been done to her, not because she just wanted to.
That's the first thing they do when a man cheat. That's the first thing they say. What did you? What did you do?
Yeah, right.
Because because I seen a lot of times women go on social media. Oh, he cheated on me. Oh, go guy. Everybody don't even know the story. They don't know the lie.
I'm so sorry.
They would go straight to her.
Yeah.
Man, do it. What you do? It ain't like we've been saying that she cheated on me.
Right.
The first thing they ain't gonna say, you're like, man, what you do?
Because people don't. I've talked to people, and people don't generally believe that there are women out here that just cheat just like some men cheat because, like, people believe that if a woman does it, it is because something happened that pushed her to do it.
No, it's false. It's both. Women and men cheat. It's both 50-50. It's just women know how to cover theirs up, and it's not exposed as men do it. And then what I mean by that is a man not going to come on social media and say, or he going to go to his homeboys and go crying to somebody saying she cheated on me because they feel embarrassed. They go back of hiding under that word man. But if a woman does it, she will do it, and because she knows that people gonna come to her rescue and ain't nobody gonna laugh, they're gonna be feeling like, oh my God, girl, what you doing? Oh my God, you lying.
Right. We gonna kill him, girl.
That's why it looks like men cheat more than women because of that reason. Women, they're gonna have security blankets. Everybody gonna come to rescue. Right. Men do it, nah.
So you're saying even if the woman cheats on the man, people are still not going to necessarily hold her responsible. They're going to try to find out, well, what did he do?
He did something.
He did something, because you wouldn't have did that on your own.
It's because it's like right now, no matter what a man does, the majority of men going to always look at this dogs, underdog. That's why you see more TV shows. Like right now, you see more women TV shows than you see men. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's more catered to a woman's standpoint.
Okay.
Men, you barely see shows, they cancel within a year. Gone. All men show. They gone. And it's sad, but it's the truth.
Okay.
You know, you see more women magazines than you see men. I mean, it's just, they're more catered to. And they're always gonna be like that. You can't fight that. But it's just, as far as the cheating situation, it's just, women are always gonna be looked at as like, you know, some women are always gonna be looked at as like, I ain't did no wrong.
Right. That's true. So what would be your advice to both men and women as far as, you know, if you're single right now and you want to be in a relationship, like what's your advice to men and women?
The best thing I will say is this. The best advice I can give is this. Work on yourself first. I know you tired. I know it feels frustrating sometimes because God made somebody to be with someone. He's got the perfect fit for you, but you have to be patient and wait. Don't go out there and pick somebody just because you feel vulnerable. No, you're not alone. God is always here with you. Don't just go out there because you need to have, you know, a quick fix, because you have to understand you're giving a piece of your soul away to somebody. It's called soul ties. A lot of people don't believe that either, and that's why when our feelings get attached and then we sit there and get hurt, and then we wonder why we hurt, because you just gave a piece of your soul away, especially women.
That's true.
Men too, but more women, because when you give this, what my mother and my grandmother told me was, when a woman, not a prostitute, but a woman.
Okay. You threw me off with prostitute. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, when a woman.
Have the dog version of the interview and say no.
When a woman,
women, wait a minute. Side note, but y'all, no, I'm just playing. I had to drop my time.
No, when a woman have sex, that's the most important thing on her body is down below, and when she gives her, you know, so she's giving a piece of her soul away, and that's the most important thing on a woman's body. Is that, so when a woman does that, she's supposed to really care about you, a real woman. But a lot of women use that as getting things from that, money, attention, or somebody to like them, like more than what they like them, to trick them. But really, it's actually you soul tie whoever you just gave your private part to.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, for me, I don't have any relationship advice. God bless y'all, man. Do the best you can. But I believe the personal development part makes you a better person. And I think when you're growing as a person, you have a better shot of intertwining your life with another person.
Correct.
And I'll say this because there are people out here that can help. I think a lot of times another one of our issues is that we try to do everything alone. We try to do everything by ourselves, you know. And maybe you don't want a coach. Maybe you don't want a therapist. Maybe you don't want to sit in front of Napoleon. Maybe you don't want to sit in front of me. That's perfectly fine. But there's other things out here. Here comes the plug. I just put together 2 courses, and I did this for a reason, is because I know everybody don't want to talk to me. Mm-hmm. You might know me personally, so you definitely don't want to talk to me on a professional level. And I'm fine with that. But there's things out here. You can go get a course right now and sit in your living room and figure out how to train your thoughts to be in line with what you want. You can figure out how to get rid of negative thoughts. You can figure out how to put yourself in a place. All of these things, and it's not just me, there's other things out there, but there's tons of help today to where we don't really have a valid excuse not to be developing ourselves. Because I hear people all the time going, man, I can't go to no counseling, man. Right. I don't feel that. Okay, but that's not your excuse. It's kind of like somebody saying, man, I don't like the gym, man. That ain't for me. Right. Well, your living room need to become the gym. Man. You know what I mean? Or, right. Or you need to run your neighborhood or something. But you not liking that aspect is not your excuse for not taking care of yourself. Correct. So you not wanting to see a therapist or a coach or a counselor can't be your excuse for not personally developing, because there's courses out here that you can purchase, and just like you scroll your phone and look at social media for 3 or 4 hours, you can be taking in a course for 3 or 4 hours and developing yourself. So I think that's something we really gotta keep pushing, is personal development. Right. And I don't know if that ever ends.
No, never. Never. It's never too late. You can't. You always gonna grow. Even when you come to 80, you're gonna learn something new every day. You learn something from people young, older. Yeah. You always supposed to train yourself on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. The more you know, the more you grow.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, I know we can talk all day. Time go by fast when we're talking. But if anything you want to close with, feel free, or share with them how they can find you on social media. For the people that do want to sit down and talk, we got virtual now, but whatever the case may be, tell them how they can reach you.
Okay, you guys can find me at Facebook at Napoleon Sledge, or you can find me on Instagram at Napoleon Sledge. That's NAPOLEON SLEDGE, all one word. Or I have a website at www.sledgelifecoaching.com. That's www.sledgelifecoaching.com. And you'll find my, if you look at my bio, you'll see my other pages and my other businesses too as well.
Yeah. And I was about to say, man, y'all tap in with this brother. I mean, this was a short conversation, and of course we was all over the place, but some real wisdom, some real knowledge, 6 books. I don't think you write 6 books if you don't have nothing to say. That would be pretty difficult. So really some real knowledge here. Somebody that I can say that puts me up on game, tells me about stuff, has, for years, just told me about some good stuff that I don't think we're at liberty to share just yet. But brother knows about where to invest, how to invest, when to do it, where to put your money. I'm trying to follow that path. But tap in with him for real, because again, there's people out here that can help. And here's the thing, a lot of the people that can help, they're people that are right by you. There are people that are right in front of your face. There are people that you scroll past them on your timeline every day. And one of the things that I think we got to get better at is taking for granted the people in our lives. Right. That's something that I'm working on, because I know a lot of great people. But some of them, I just know them because I've been knowing since I was 12 years old. Right. And I see the greatness. But what I have to train myself is to say, if I need some help in a relationship or relationship coaching or advice, it's right there. Like it's a phone call away. Right. And a lot of us, we're tied up and tangled up in situations and circumstances and things that are going on in our lives. And there are people that we know personally that they got some kind of answer. They got some kind of strategy, some kind of guideline. But because of the familiarity, you keep moving, right? And you keep going, and you like, that's just Napoleon. I went to, But these are people, and this is a whole different soapbox. But I think in order for us to grow and get better, we got to learn how to work with the people that are around us, work with the people that are in and around our communities, the people that we know, and that's something that I've gotten in trouble for doing. I've hired people to do stuff and got burned, got money took, all that stuff. All because of, I should have reached out to my whole network and said, who do you know that does XYZ? Or who do I know personally that does this versus, oh, I found this other person. And this other person masquerades as this thing, and then it's not really what it is. So,
and then, you know, Rashad, you're right. But you know what, though? In our society today, is so many people don't want to support you because, like you said, they're looking at the fact that they know you, or they just don't want to do it because they have this crab in the bucket mentality of saying, like, well, I'm not going to help him because I'm giving him my money. Yeah. But you
got to pay somebody to do something anyway.
Or some people will try to support you privately but won't publicly.
True, that's true. Yeah. And for me, I don't care public or private, but if you need help with something and it's somebody there, reach out. Even if that's not the person to help you, that might be the person to lead you to the path of whoever else you need. But a lot of times, the whole suffer in silence thing, I think we're getting past that. Like we gotta break that, because there are people around you that have answers or can help or can do something, and a lot of times we just close ourselves off.
Correct.
And I've been the king of that.
Correct.
You know, I'm the king of shutting the door and be like, look, I'm gonna figure this out myself.
5 doors shut.
5 doors. You know what I'm saying? Peace out, bro. I'll catch you when I come out these doors. But you know, I've learned that that's not always the way. You know what I mean? So I said all that to say, reach out to this brother, especially if you need coaching, relationship, buy the books, do whatever you got to do. But definitely somebody you want to pay attention to.
Thank you so much, man.
Definitely,
man. Y'all really appreciate being here.
For sure, man. You got to do it. All right, y'all. We out. Y'all have a good one.
Bless you guys.